This is Pastor Troy right here. We've got a wrap up to season 3 coming, but before we wrap up season 3, get ready for what we call something incredible. It's called the best of season 3. Our executive producer, Donna Korniski, has gone in the files. She's dug around, looked at your comments, and she's picked the best of season 3 to throw back at you. So over the next few weeks, get ready. It's coming up right now. The first of, the second of, and a whole season of nothing but the best of season 3. Get ready as that episode rolls now, and don't worry. We'll have new season 4 episodes coming at you very soon. Be praying for us. We'll see you soon. I'm Pastor Troy. You've been on the dock. Now get ready for season 3 best of. Troy, and you're in the Twilight Zone on the doc.org, on the doc.org, every Tuesday and Thursday. Reason I'm doing this is going to be a compound episode. You're going to feel like you heard this episode twice, but you didn't. We're going to do a 2-part show. It's going to be interesting. We've got a dynamic duo, trio, quadruple. We got a lot of people in the room here. I can't count that far. We got a lot of specialists in this room. We're going to wrap up part 3 of this show. I'll talk to you about it in a minute. And then we are going to transition right into part 4. So you're going to hear this same beginning for both part 3 and part 4. So you are not needing to stop. Keep going and see in a minute if it's different. So, compound episode. You're in the Twilight Zone. On the dock with Pastor Troy. About conversations to propel your faith out of the shallow and into the deep. We're on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. You can also find us. We are on Spotify and iTunes, right? Right? Yeah, there you go. You got a YouTube channel, too. Just a few things there, yeah. Right? Facebook, Instagram. We're not on Instagram. Google Play, Facebook, Roku, Rumble, Sermon.net, and also social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, and Getter. But we'd love to hear your conversation piece, your feedback on this episode. Talk to us, and we will respond back to you. Subscribe, hit like, notify. Tell other people about it. Go to Patreon. Download the Patreon app, or go to Patreon and look up On the Dock with Pastor Troy. There's 4 ways to partner with our show. You're a business, you're an organization, you're a church. We have levels in which we will represent you. On this cup on my wonderful desk is Crown Brew right there. Crown Brew has been one of our partners in the past. Also, we do others like that as well. We'd love to partner with you or a sponsor. You can just be a supporter of the show, and we have things that we give back and do for you as a part of that process. Check that out at Patreon and find out how you can be a part of what we're doing at On the Dock. SLNT.com. We're working with them this year in season 3. Promo code OTD. They hunted us down. Why? Because they heard us talking about our right to privacy, and they sent me an email and said, do you want to control your right to privacy? And they sent me this Faraday bag, and they said, we heard you because we bought it from Google. Would you like to have privacy? And they, get your SLNT bag, key fob, any kind of device that they have, and it helps you hide yourself when you need to hide yourself or have discretion when you need to have discretion. Go to slnt.com/discount/OTD. Check out their products and find the one that's right for you. We'll give you an ad on this. At the end of this, you can find out how that thing works and check it out. onthedock.org is our website. You can find links to everything. You can just go right to our YouTube page, right to Spotify, right to iTunes, right to my Patreon. So if you're just dumb like I am on the internet, just go there and get started. If you're really dumb, I could do that too. I just email and go, Donna, how do we do this? info@onthedock.org, and she will give you step by step on how to get there.
Do you have a link? Do you have a link to her too?
info@onthedock.org. She responds
okay.
to it. Yeah. She does that. Yeah. She is our link. She is the missing link. This Donna Korniski right there. She's our executive director and producer for On the Dock right there. She does not have a camera today, even though we have 6 cameras on the set, because we cannot put her on camera or on mic today because, she's just so busy with 6. We got the extended set so we could have her on more stuff, but then we wanted to do a couple bigger shows. And then our guy, Lucas, who's our real executive producer, he says, when you're running 6 setups, they don't need a mic or camera. They're going to be really busy. So we're trying to get a handle on this as something new for her. We got Mother Beth. She's in the studio, but not in her regular seat because I got Pastor Dan there. Mother Beth's over in Studio B. Boom! She's using Donna's mic. That's the problem right there.
I stole Donna's mic.
Yeah, she stole Donna's mic. Next there we got my co-host also on a lot of our shows this year in season 3 is John Steve, executive director, Heron House of Hope. Let's give it up for Heron House of Hope. HeronHouseHope.org. Check it out. Lots of details there. Incredible ministry. That applause is thunderous. Right next to me to my right is Dan Piles. Take Action Today, director of programming. Both Dan and John are pastors here at Community Faith Church, but also have incredible ministry. And right now, you're hearing, well, we're starting part 4. In part 4, we're gonna take on your challenge. We're gonna be a roundtable here for a minute on the subculture of 618. So you heard the same beginning. We're now in that part 2. It is a different show, and we'll wrap up this show with a double ending for both. So let me go back, and if you're just picking us up this time, you're picking us up for the first time. You need to go watch part 3, which is it has the same beginning. Go watch the episode in front of this, which is part 3. Donna will have it labeled, and listen to how we got here. And we're in the room right now. Let me re-identify everybody. Our guest, our featured guest for this episode is Dale Vaughn. Dale's the founder, director, CEO of the Subculture out of Mount Vernon, Illinois. Next to him is one of his partners in the ministry there, but he's strategically located the most southern of all of us. That's below us, you got us bookended. Steve Hammond, High Point Ministries in Vienna, Illinois, and just amazing team here. And let me just say to you, these guys have just been incredible. Go listen to part 1, 2, and 3. Check it out, and we are fixing to move into some powerful discussion because Steve's doing this work down in the Vienna area. He can kind of identify what's going on there, what the needs are. We are in a blighted zone. 618 area is one of the most blighted areas in the country. The coal miners ruled here. They had money, they had fame. Problem is they stayed in the coal mine. They didn't get educated, so when the money disappeared, then we reverted back to what we are, Southern Illinois. We're just left to Kentucky. You know what I mean? We're just hill people, kind of. And so we're in a time when our economy is rough. Now, Marion's in a little bit of a bubble. We have some sort of magic bubble in Marion right now. The magic bubble has to do with star development and all this stuff, and you got to look around at what's happening here. It doesn't make sense. I believe that bubble could disappear at any time. We are blessed by development here. We're blessed by what's going on, but I think we are in a unique moment, and Illinois sabotages any kind of business development. So when you take Illinois is not doing well as a whole, Southern Illinois is the worst of Illinois, and then honestly, Southern Illinois, you get into the edge of Kentucky, you've got some rough area. Right now, grants are really abundant to us right now because we are in what they call a blighted zone by multiple agencies. So there's all kinds of funds available for the Delta Regional Area Authority right now because we're in the top of that Mississippi Delta blighted zone, the coal mine zone. It is a rough area here. Dale's ministry is the Subculture. That's what the series is on. Part 1, 2, and 3 will tell you a lot about it, and we talked a little bit about the next move. The Subculture is out of Mount Vernon. You can check them out on their website, on their Facebook site. But what I want to say to you is they are ministering to specifically, I'm going to pull his credo statement up. It's a community-based outreach. They're providing space where people can come as they are, without judgment, and better themselves. And their goal is to build a relationship with people and bring them to Jesus. And he's working with a food bank and a hygiene products, clothing distribution, meal prep. They've got incredible bookstore, thrift store. They're doing ministry to people. They're doing meals. They need you to come help volunteer. If you're in the Mount Vernon area, anywhere in that region, you want to come up and serve. They need volunteers to serve in their stores. They need volunteers to go on events around the country with them to help them do events. And you can just donate cash to them. Go to their website there. There's a Venmo link, cash link. I'm just telling you, they're doing good stuff. Go listen to 1, 2, and 3. He's also the lead artist for As We Are, a team that's a band, and not only is his band, but his organization's doing festivals, and that's how we found them. Go back and listen to those first episodes. We found them at Kingdom Come festivals, where we found them As We Are, and they were doing incredible work there. And they're leading festivals, and they're going to be other places this summer. Go look to their website, As We Are, Facebook, and see where they're going to be in the future. But right now, they're going to be in the Audio Feed Music Festival in Urbana, Illinois, July 7th, and that'll be during this broadcast. And then Life Fest in July 12th, and just keep looking to where they're going to be. All that being said, I want to take advantage of the fact that we've got John Steve in studio. John is the executive director at the Heron House of Hope here in Heron. We told you Steve's from Vienna. That's south of us. How far is that south? 25 miles?
25 miles.
25. We're at Ground Zero at Heron House. So John's running the premier ministry to the subculture of our area in this region. So John's running the House Hope. If you've never seen it, it's on 112 North 14th Street, doing all kinds of ministry. More than a soup kitchen, food pantry, thrift store, everything.
How many meals?
We're averaging about 160 a day. Today, we served 187 meals
So
today.
you didn't see that because they're lined up early. So we came late.
That's
And we
awesome.
came late on
The
purpose.
first 30 minutes, we
It's
were
killer.
packed,
It's killer.
dude.
It's killer.
Since the inception, though, John, how many have you? If just a rough guess, I mean, I thought you said it was like over 100 and something thousand.
No, over 400,000.
We're north of 400,000.
Yeah.
400,000 meals.
Plus
Yeah.
thousand.
Yeah.
It'll be in the 440s.
And the food was amazing.
Yeah.
They got
what
really good
pushed us
fried
so
fish.
far was the 2 COVID years jumped our numbers up quite a bit. So it's like it was like 3 dog years. COVID really we went from serving 36,000, 40,000 meals a year to 70, 80, 90 a year. So if we had a couple of years there, but John's doing incredible work there. Next to me is Dan Piles. He's my co-host today. Also, Take Action Today. You're in 6 counties. Take Action is doing behavioral recovery, peer counseling.
Yes.
In 6 counties, including Jefferson. Yes. So, do you get down to? Does any of your ministry get as far as Anna?
We
Deanna
don't. Williamson County is as far as we go. But
You aren't willing to go that south, huh?
No, we do have a wonderful partner there in Johnson County that we work with, Arrowleaf.
Okay.
They're really good. So
So you've got 6 counties. You're very broad. You're working with a subculture of your own.
Yeah.
Right. You've got shower facilities and things like you're doing. You're doing recovery programs. So there's another big piece. Now we get up to Mount Vernon. We got the subculture up there. You're probably. What's your bandwidth up there? Where do you see people coming in? Just Mount Vernon, or are you seeing people from outside any?
I mean, they come through Mount Vernon. I mean, we have people that are traveling that'll hear about it and come in and shower, and they're heading on down the road.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would say logistics-wise, most of the people are in the city area. We've had people that are gravitated from other places there, but for the most part.
Go to heronhouseofhope.org. I put their website in the lower. That's their sponsored day program. You can go find out more about them. They got a Facebook page as well. Take Action Today. You can go to takeactiontoday.net, find out more about them. They have a Facebook page. They could use your help. They're looking for volunteers. They've got programs. You guys got a store too, at their store too, right?
we're in the process.
You're working
of
on that. You're
starting
working on
one,
that. Yeah. And then, but these guys
If you
up
need
here in Mount
product, I can
Vernon,
help.
they're doing. You're doing a bookstore. You've got a thrift store. You're doing distribution. You've got a lot of stuff in development there. So it's just phenomenal. What I want to talk about the culture here. We really got into that just a minute ago. There's not. We are. I think you're right. I think we're uniquely situated. We got a vibration going on in the room. I can hear it. I know, but I hear it in mine. So
I hear it in mine too.
yeah, make sure this board's cut out. Maybe make sure this is muted. That didn't help, but it's a vibration. We'll let it go. We don't care. All right, but
There you go.
ooh, girl,
It was starting to become subliminal.
it was. I don't. Yeah. So.
It's back.
It's back.
Yeah, it's back. Whatever we did, it stopped for a minute. How do you guard yourself and stay healthy? We talked about that because you can be skeptical, and we talked about you've got to just find times to get away and reconnect with your spouse, your family, your kids. You need Sabbath.
Yes.
So you were saying get away. You said Sunday. For me as a preacher, that's tough because that Sunday is my
Right.
Sabbath. But everybody knows Monday's my day off. So my Sabbath's Monday. So you cannot do your Sabbath when you're doing ministry.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Yes.
Is that fair for you? Is that fair for you? It's very tough.
I love it when the person says, "So you work a full-time job, so you're pastoring part-time."
Yeah.
No, I'm pastoring full-time and working a full-time.
Yeah.
job.
I hate it when people tell me you only work one day a week. I said, you come with me on one of those days, I'll kill you.
Answer my
I'll
phone.
wear you out.
Answer my phone.
Answer
I've
my
said
phone.
that many times. I'd love for some pastors just to come and hang out with me for one day.
Yeah, walk with John for a day. He'll
Right.
he'll wear you out. Then I'll hand you
One
off to
day
me.
they'll run and never come back.
You got to protect yourself, number one. But I think one of the challenges that we face is we're talking about transitional housing. I think that we've got to make a commitment here. That's something we can start working on together. I think that's something I promised John is next. And maybe one of the things that I'm going to hopefully do with some sort of festival with you guys, kind of linking into our fun day, is to try to do something to benefit what we're going to do at the shelter and this stuff. Because we've got to get that step in place to get to the next step. But because what you've said, it's a process. It's not just about what we're doing now and maybe next steps. You've got to have programs in place so that you can get to that. But once you get to that, you're talking about not just housing, you're talking about a whole program in place. The Dream Center has, you mentioned the Dream Center in program 3 in LA. You're saying that you not just can have a house, but you're going to have a whole process once they're in that house.
Yeah.
I don't mean this, that's a terrible, I don't mean to reprogram, but just like your nerves regenerate, we talked about in episode 3, or just like when you come out of your addiction.
You got to renew their mind.
You got to renewing your mind. He did a whole series in last month, a couple months ago, on Transformers. When you were talking about that, I was thinking about that, and the renewing your mind, your soul, and your spirit. Yeah. So part of the process in that transitional house has to be a transforming type process.
Absolutely.
Both healing, but both learning how to deal with your finances, right?
Oh yeah.
Learning how to cope with coping skills.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen. So maybe a lot of places fail because they haven't put those things in place to see the success.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you think about something, you look at somebody, you know, we put somebody in treatment. Was it 28, 30 days? Okay. That's your minimum 30 days. You know, we're going to put you in treatment for 30 days for us, meth or opioid addiction. And then we kick them out the door and we're like, good luck.
Shazam.
So you're talking about somebody that has had, for me, a 14-year addiction. Now you put me in a 30-day program, and now all of a sudden you let me out the door, and you expect me to be a productive member of society. You know, somebody who was up to a $700 a week drug habit, who, you know, lost his home, who lost a marriage, who lost his children.
Burnt and broke every bridge.
That's
and
what I'm
burnt
saying.
every relationship you have.
And the problem is these treatment centers, they do great for treating the problem, but where we're failing individuals is the moment they walk out the doors, because here's the problem. As soon as you open those doors, guess what these individuals are facing? Life. I'm going to walk out that treatment center and I'm still going to have to deal with bills. I'm going to still have to deal with my emotions. I'm still going to have to deal and start picking up the pieces from the past that I've run. And where we're screwing these people over is we're not teaching them how to pay bills.
Yep.
A lot of individuals who struggle with substance use have no idea how to balance a checkbook. They couldn't even write you a check.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They have no idea how to cook meals, how to clean a house. And here we are, we're sending these individuals out of these treatment centers and being like, good luck. And you're literally setting these people up for failure because you're literally having them walk into something that they're so uncomfortable with that, you know, that they eventually they just get tired of it and they go back to what they're comfortable with.
They're going to go back to what they're. So what you were saying and you're saying, there's a place that me and my wife are getting ready to go to in Texas where it's a recovery program. And my background is we build multifamily units. We build assisted livings and motels. And so we're going down there to talk to them about building like a motel because they've already got a recovery place where they've gotten 24 guys and 8 women and they're growing. But now what they've done is they've started businesses. So they're teaching these people trades. They're teaching them. And we're talking.
That's what our prostitution recovery program in Patia does.
Perfect.
They teach the girls. They come out. They live in the group home. They do chores. They do parts of the work. They do parts of the cooking, the cleaning. At the same time, they're going to classes on how to do this. So they come out. They came out of prostitution. That was easy. That was their life. Now they're learning how to be a beautician or learning how to be a baker. Yeah. So when they leave the program, they're leaving because they took a job someplace and they're going to get a house, an apartment finally. But they've been cleaning a house for the last year in the transition house. But they've been doing stuff, right?
Also teaching them how to pay their bills.
Yeah.
You know, they got to have the classes.
So you got to phase it in, almost like almost like you would do a school student retraining them into
just they got to have a place where they can stay, and it's like 30 days ain't enough.
No,
you got to have a year.
You've got to have like I said, a whole infrastructure for people to succeed.
And the dream, you said the dream church is doing almost 2 year program.
You just taking them off the street is just the beginning.
Sure.
You know, and we think that's enough. Oh well, you know, we took them off the street and they screwed us over. Well.
But you set them up to fail. We all set,
right.
You know what I mean?
We all set ourselves up to fail there.
You know, if you pick up a stray dog and he comes into your house, he doesn't act right the first night. You kick him out the next day. You know what I mean?
What did you expect? You picked up a stray dog.
Right. Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah. Exactly.
So.
And we're surprised. A lot of people are surprised about it, but they're a stray dog.
That's why I said you got to have the whole infrastructure in place. And I mean, I think we've come to this point But now the most important point, we drop the ball because you get them here, and even in church, you come in, you got to get saved, you got to get saved. That's all you hear. You got to get saved, you got to get saved. You get saved every Sunday.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you
To
never
do what?
move.
To
You
do
never
what?
move beyond that because the church does not disciple you on
That's
where you
it.
go from there.
Yep.
So every day it's only Jesus, only Jesus. You're a horrible person. You're only pure because of Jesus, and only Jesus can do that. And what about the part where Jesus became part of me?
And I go beat Jesus
and I
to the
can
world.
go do all
Yes.
things that He's given me power
Amen.
and even
Sure.
greater things.
Sure. Yeah.
But we don't talk about that.
And that's the big challenge in our church setting. We are a very active church.
Yeah.
We're doing overseas ministry. We're doing clinics. We're doing barbecue outreaches. We're serving the teens. We're serving House of Hope. We're this and that. We're going to KCF. It's 5 hours away
Yeah.
to take stuff. We are a Green Beret. Drop you behind enemy lines and establish the kingdom of God
Right.
church.
And if you're the enemy, I'm gonna relate this to a store manager because I am now. I'm an owner, but when I was in management, what are you gonna keep your focus on? And take this from the enemy's perspective. Are you gonna be worried about the store that's doing absolutely nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you gonna put all your emphasis and attention on the one that's actually doing something
Yeah.
and moving forward? So we go back to the challenges. Because when you start to move, then you face the resistance.
But I think the church as a whole sets up a lot of people because people will come here and they'll go, oh, I want to go to church. Or, what do you mean? Church like the one over there where I come, I enjoy the service, we go eat dinner, we go home, we come back next week, we hear that sermon again, and we come. The church that has low expectation,
Exactly.
low need.
The social club.
The social club.
Yeah.
I call it church light. And I'm not saying people don't need church light occasionally. We even need it occasionally. But a church that's not planning to take the kingdom of God and build it, are they really a kingdom builder church? Are they really a Great Commission church? So we tend to be a church that's very active, engaged. Multiple things a week you could do. And you can't sit around here and not do it, or people look at you like, are you a Christian? Because
the Great Commission said go.
you're getting lint on. You got too much lint on you. You need to get up and move and dust that stuff off. But a lot of church today is built around the show, about the Sunday thing. And I don't think the show on Sunday is anything. It should be a chance for us to tell the story of what God's done in the trenches.
Yep.
yeah.
In the world that week. It should be a testimony service. But it's the same old church because there's no new testimony because nobody went anywhere.
Well, and another thing too, the church should be a place where you can come and display your giftings.
Yes.
But how many people are even allowed to come to the stage and get the microphone?
Very few.
Because it's all about.
And most don't have anything to say because they haven't
It's
done
all
anything.
program.
It's all programmed.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's a one-man rock show
Amen.
church where one person tells everybody else blah, 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 and no one else gets a chance. So eventually you begin to feel like, well, I just go to church and I really, what I'm doing doesn't really matter a whole lot because I can't ever share it with anybody. They don't, whatever.
But the mindset of a lot of
But-
Christians are set up to fail.
That's true.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is we need to present, again, an infrastructure
Yeah.
that allows these people to feel valued, that their opinion matters, that they're productive,
Agreed.
where they can come in and share their perspective.
And use their gifts
Exactly.
and get engaged.
Part of our job is to find people's giftings and bring them out of
But
them.
I think there's a membrane there between us being able to engage people and getting people out of their lethargy. Lethargy has become the norm for the church,
Yes.
and what the church is abnormal. The church is always running against the grain and trying to present something that's a daylight in darkness. And we've got this idea that the church is a comfortable place, and for me, the church should be an active and busy and engaging place.
The church should be a challenging place.
Yeah.
When you leave, you should feel like crap.
Or charged up and ready to go do something
Right.
with
Yeah.
it.
But
One or
I'm
the
just
other.
saying,
You should
I'm
be
just saying,
feeling-
like,
Yeah.
you should
Charged.
not leave and be like, oh, that was great.
Gosh, I got to go do something with this,
You know what I
know?
Well, I know when we started ours down there in Vienna, we asked to go rent another church, and they flat out said, we don't want your type. And at first I was like, what do you mean my type? They're like, we don't want your type. Well, God brought me out of sin. God delivered me. Yes, I had the tattoos. I have the scars to show my life that I had when I wasn't living in church. But it's getting people to realize, you know, there's something different.
Well, let me transition that to the second topic I wanted to hit in the roundtable here on the 618. Let's all commit that we're going to work together, work on this transitional idea together. I think that's a number one. All right, the unchurched and dischurched. When you get hit like that, we don't want your kind of people in here. You're a Christian person, they're Christian persons. We're brothers and sisters in Christ. I didn't know there were multiple families of God. I thought God just had one family. He mentioned other folds,
Sure,
but he mentioned same ranch.
Yeah.
You know, Kingdom of God Ranch. You know, there is a lot of damage being done by the church that's created a whole caliber of dischurched, unchurched, and I don't want to be in church people. You know what I mean? And I'm not calling that the church. I'm saying that's a fake church or a faux church.
Yep.
It's not really the church, but there's a lot of damage done by the church. What do we do about that? How do we help that?
Well, we started out. We're like, listen, we're not having that as a big box religion. We're not doing it. We're showing. And if people ask us, "What are you?" We're Jesus.
Amen.
We're here to show the love of Jesus, and we show everybody this love. And it's why we tell our people it's about building relationships. You're building a relationship with Jesus, so you can build a relationship with other people. It's reaching, teaching, and leading others. As you're reaching out to others, you're teaching them to follow and getting past.
I agree with that.
Getting past that. Well, you're not my religion. Well, Jesus didn't have religions.
No, he was not religious at all. He's a way, a truth, and a
Yeah.
life. He's somebody we follow. So how can two people go, well, I'm not that kind of Christian? I thought we were following the same guy.
Yeah.
Or
You
I'm,
know
more,
what I mean?
or I'm more of a Christian than you are.
Yeah,
Right.
Because I've cleaned myself up differently than you are.
Yeah.
You know, but Jesus and these guys went out on mission and they took nothing but the clothes on their back. And he told them, don't go anywhere unless they welcome you.
Sure.
You know, most of those people, you'd be like, man, that's all they got. I can't let that guy in my house. You know what I mean? Think about who the apostles were.
Oh, yeah.
They were a subculture.
Absolutely.
They would have looked different. They would have smelled different.
Oh,
you
yeah.
walk that far in your sandals, you know. And Jesus even told the one guy, "You didn't even offer to let me wash my feet," because
Yep.
people were distracted by them. So as you talk about this unchurched, dischurched culture, how I've had to fight that here is we've transitioned in the last couple of years from kind of just being I'm not saying a standard church. We've always been kind of going the right direction. But when you come to a point when you're going to embrace the House of Hope and what they're doing, you're going to embrace church. I have churches in prostitution zones, churches in Africa. We've got a recovery program that's based out here through Dan now that we're partnering with. When you start getting this diversity of stuff, people start going, well, I don't know about this place. It's not my church anymore. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't know those people, them.
And that's where on your Sunday morning, you're up there and you're saying, Jesus loves them.
Yeah.
You know, and
yeah.
you're reaching out to them and you're bringing them in and you're celebrating.
Well,
when they come.
I've done it a different way over the last couple months, but I made a big divide a couple years ago, and I just said if you think there's an us and them, and you're the us, well, you're actually the them. Would y'all mind get up and get out? And I think I said a few weeks ago, if you don't like it, if you're a them, you don't like what you're doing here. Did I say something?
Yeah,
About that?
well-
Don't let the door hit you on the way out of the sanctuary, because we're just not going to be an us and them church. We're either all in them or not. We're them.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's where the church, honestly, and I speak as the church as whole, that's where the church has really dropped the ball on this whole situation.
Draw the line in the sand.
I work with a lot of individuals, and one of the biggest things they ask is, man, I want to go to church. You know, because a lot of us grew up in church. Southern Illinois, we grew up in church. I was at church every Sunday, Wednesday, every youth event, I was there. So, but, when you walk in, you're skinny, you got needle marks all over your arm, your teeth are black because you've smoked meth, you're just in rough shape. You maybe smell funny. A lot of churches get put off by that stuff, and so we end up pushing these people away. Two things happen with that. Number one, we destroy the community people who need Jesus the most. Jesus said, it's not the well that need a doctor,
Exactly.
but the sick. These are sick individuals, and I'm not talking about that in a mean way. I was sick, bro. I was sick with the
And he
disease of
healed me.
addiction. Number two, you're hurting your church members, because you are foolish if you are going to sit there and tell me that just because you're saved that you still don't struggle with stuff. When you do not allow the church to talk about addiction, to talk about mental health, to be welcoming to that type of environment, what happens is you got members that are dying on you in front of your church
And-
pews because they're scared to death to talk to the
and
preacher
some of these
about it.
members have kids in their families, are out on drugs, or off in the world, and your own church and the
And they're
attitude is
scared
keeping
to
their
talk
own
about it.
Children from being able to come back and get saved in their own.
Yeah,
church.
they're scared to talk about it.
And Dan, I preached that in the sermon.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. It's easier to not see it. It's easier to not acknowledge it, right?
Yeah.
It's much
Put the
easier
it's easier to put the blinders on.
and not see it.
It's easy to put the blinders on
Check out
until
the
it hits
message.
your own
Yeah.
household.
Exactly.
Then whenever it hits your own household, then it's a whole different ballgame.
It is.
yeah.
It is. But we're set up not only to not take care of ourselves, but we isolate our own families because every one of our. I don't know a preacher's family out there that doesn't have some lost sheep that goes off the wrong direction.
Oh.
Those PKs or something else.
Look at
And
my house.
And the church itself is designed today to destroy that wandering PK. Instead, the prodigal steps out and waits on that one to come home and then kills the fatted calf when they come home and they celebrate them. Our prodigal father is longing for the return of that and welcoming of the return. Are we modeling that today? No, I don't think in general we are. I think there's churches that are.
Oh
We're
yeah,
trying
there's
to.
churches, but as a
As a
church as a
overall-
whole, no, we've dropped the
And
ball.
so that's why you have dischurched and unchurched.
Yeah, I had a guy reach out to me the other night, and he said, "I'm struggling. I'm having cravings," and instantly I'm like, "Dude, that's great." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "That's great because it's showing you that you're an overcomer.
Absolutely.
And the
Sure.
devil's challenging you.
He's challenging. He knows that you're victorious. Therefore, step forward and claim it. Just start speaking faith over it."
The one thing I've heard as we get deep into this and start thinking about pulling the reins on it a bit, the one thing that I'm really clear about is it's a process. I've been hearing that from you repeatedly, the process. Even in today, having lunch with you and coffee with you this morning, I've been seeing how God's taken you through, Dale, a process from where you were doing music, and you kind of got away from music, and now music's at a whole new level for you. You know, you gave up, you had your Abraham and Isaac moment. I shared a little bit about mine when God asked me to trust him, and I did, but then God opened the door. I never had to leave. God just ended up putting it right back here in my lap. I think God just wanted to know, was he first? Was he preeminent? And I'm not done being tested. I think God needs to humble us all.
Oh, yeah.
You had your moment, but it's process for us, process for our ministries. We're talking about conniving together to build a better concept for transitional housing. Process. You said the process to be patient, to be consistent. Who mentioned the 70 times 7? One of you guys mentioned the 490. You
I
count
think it was Dale.
that we got to be because you don't know when that's going to break through. You know, and we got to be patient with ourselves because God tells us, like he told you, like he told me, do this. And I think nothing's happening. I went all the way out to KCF to just kind of vision all this, and I end up at the last day connecting with you, and all of what you're talking about, I had no idea you want to do transitional housing too. I mean, it's like God's like, I set you up. Just stay on the path. Yep. You know, I've got everything you need. I got the people you need. You talked about having the right people in the right places. You are the right people for me right now. So when I went to KCF, they asked me how to go. I said, I think Don asked me how to go. I said, I did great at the Methodist conference. I met all kinds of people who wanted to help us. And I said, I met maybe one person that wanted to help us one day at KCF. And then I met one guy that can change us. You were the guy that changed us. So I came back and talked about you. I said, what he's doing, we're close enough to that we could give value back. Because that's what I don't want to do any ministry here that we can't do value back to you. At the same time, I think his ministry can value ours. And I think together you've got skill sets to help us elevate what we need to do to get to the next level too. And I had no idea we'd get somebody from Vienna in here. That's crazy. So I it's crazy that I had to go all the way to Kokomo, Indiana to find somebody in the 618 that we could change this place.
That's why it's important, Troy, you mentioned in the sermon to show up and serve.
You got to show up and serve.
Absolutely.
I just went there to serve, honestly.
Absolutely.
I just went to Audio Feed to play a show and ended up serving. But it all started there.
I tell you how good God is. I didn't even know this, but right before we started this podcast, Steve said, "Hey, I think you and I have communicated before." And a mutual friend of ours actually we swapped numbers and we were messaging back and forth because he's like, dude, you got to get a hold of this guy, man. He's doing the same thing you're doing, Dan. He's on fire, dude. You got to get a hold of him. I'm like, yeah, man, get him my number. Let's talk. And we messaged back and forth on the phone a few times, but man, just life happens. And I was like, dude, we have got to get that going like ASAP. So that's God, man. That's how good God is.
It's amazing. We're not done with this. We're going to do more with this. We'll bring these guys back. Dale, I want to make sure that guys get out there and figure out how to connect with you. Your band is As We Are.
Yes.
They've got great music out there, just incredible. That's your son, the drummer.
Yep.
That's your son. Fantastic. They got some great songs. They're going to be places locally. Find their Facebook page and go find out where else they're going to be. No matter when you hear this, you could be hearing this 2 years from now. Go find out where they are, what festival they're doing, and go check it out. I want you to go check out their main site, the Subculture in Mount Vernon, Illinois. There is their graphic. They're running all kinds of stuff. There it is, subculture.mtv.org. Find out what they're doing. Find out how you can donate, be a part. They want your time personally. If you can come out and work in the store, one of their 2 stores, or you can help go on an event, that'd be great. If you've got stuff to donate, like you've got an estate, you got a bunch of your clothing and stuff like that, just donate it there and let them reuse that and put it in the kingdom. I have a brother I ran across that was telling me, like, man, they bring stuff that's this where they sell it and then they spend it on ministry. I mean, that's kind of like, that's not good. I said, what do you mean it's not good? I mean, John's got a thrift store that takes people's stuff that we would have thrown away and turns it into meals for people for the next week.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I think that is amazing. You can we clear out our garage, we take stuff to him. And then what's funny is I see people wearing my t-shirts. I see a t-shirt that I know I designed and go, that looks good on them. And I was done with it because I'm too fat. And it's so nice to see it recycled. At the same time, I also know that the money from that did some ministry that changed other lives. Our junk can be God's gold.
That's right.
It can be something else.
Can I give a
Yeah, go
testimony
ahead.
that happened today? We pulled up to the church where we met you. Well, we're here, aren't we?
The community faith. Yeah, we're
here.
a community
Okay.
faith.
I don't know where we're at.
Yeah, we've been around all day.
And I told God I'm believing for a van or some kind of transportation.
Yeah.
I need one. Like, we're at the point where it's need. It's not want. It's need. Pastor goes, you can have that van right there.
Yeah, as long as you got a mechanic, somebody can do some work on it, you can have it.
And Steve's
Move
like,
that old van out here and
Steve
get it
goes,
fixed.
I got a guy.
Yeah. I just found out you know things about building. Do you really know things about building?
Do you know anything about building?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have a good dinner tonight.
You don't get forearms that big
I
for
know, now
typing on a keyboard.
Now I understand.
That's carrying.
And if he knows anybody that's electrical, he's going to be even better.
But I'll do that plug. We need box trucks. We need
Yes.
vans. My wife and I travel a lot, not just in music. We travel a lot. We go to an Indian reservation every fall. We're doing all this stuff. And that's where we spend a lot of time. We need somewhere that we need a motorhome or something where we can live in that while we're doing that.
Okay, box truck, just for research. I've done research on the 16, 17-foot box trucks from U-Haul. They sell them locally. They're about $18,000 to $22,000 for a pretty gently used box truck. They sell them pretty regularly. We need a box truck for the food pantry and the distribution center.
So do
You
we.
need a box truck. You need a box truck. Somebody out there, get out there and write about $50,000 check. Send it to me. I'll buy 3 box trucks for all 3 of these organizations because we are tracking that now. We need one. You need one. That's
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Jesus'
No,
name.
we're just saying out there. Somebody may hear that.
That's
People
right.
buy all kinds of things all the time. I've walked into places and somebody say, here's that 11,000, here's that 20. We need 3 box trucks that would serve the 618. And I'll make this pledge. You buy the box trucks. I'll make our box truck available to theirs if theirs is down and vice versa. We'll share in common.
Well, I was just thinking about this van.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if Steve needs the van, he can come.
We'll
get-
share
I
it.
mean,
We'll share it.
it's-
We loan our bus, our van to anybody that needs it that's another church Christian ministry, as long as there's one rule. Do they share back?
Right.
We reciprocate if they reciprocate. I had church one time say, can I borrow your van? I said, we only have one rule. Can we borrow yours if we ever need it? Well, I'll have to check with our deacons. And you guys know what I think about deacons. There's the deacons. Check our deacons. So you can borrow mine, but you need to check with your deacons on yours. I think the answer is no.
That's right.
But this is the Lord's house, and His people can use it. So when you get past the deacons and get to the Lord's house, we're okay there.
That's right.
So you know how that is. This has been an incredible show.
Absolutely.
Go watch all 3 episodes before this, and this roundtable is really good. There's more we can do. We're not done. You'll see these guys back in the studio again. We'll do more work with them down the road. Maybe we can do something on transitional housing and some other problems down the road. But we're going to get out, and what we're going to do is we're going to all go have dinner together and talk about how we can do a transitional house in the future.
Amen.
And we're going to talk about how we can do have As We Are and your team. What's the group that's producing the festivals you call it again? The group that you're doing what's the ministry that you're producing the festivals under?
So the Subculture stage is a stage.
It's a stage.
But I'm also doing a festival called Reach Out Festival.
Reach Out Festival, right? Yeah. So what we want to do is look for the Subculture to be in our area, whether it's in Mount Vernon or whether we have their stage down here in Southern Illinois. Look around. I think we could maybe work on doing some. Really, I had a vision, dream the other day that when I was talking about you and I thought about him and him. I don't really want to plan one festival just here at Fun Day. What I like to do is plan a series where they bounce around 2 or 3 of our places, and we just all 3 of our ministries, 4 of our ministries, partner together on all of it.
Yeah.
And so we create a culture that's open to ministering and a heart to the subculture.
Absolutely.
So we build something totally new here because it's not here.
Yeah.
That's right.
But there is room for it. There's room at the cross for people that are committed. So check out As We Are. Check out the Subculture. You'll find all their stuff in the show notes. It's been fantastic. Dale, been fantastic to have you here. Steve, been fantastic to have you here again. John, Steve, thank you very much. Dan Powell, thank you very much.
you.
Check all these ministries out there. Just absolutely amazing. We're going to wrap up both this. This is the end show for both Challenges and Next Moves Part 3 that you just heard. And we just also, in the second part of this, wrapped up the roundtable, the Subculture 618. We're glad you joined us for that. So if you would keep looking for us, you'll find On the Dock at onthedock.org. Info at onthedock.org is our email to find us. And you can go to YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes to find our shows. Please watch part 1, 2, and 3 of this, and 4. They're together. Remember that. And you're going to be moved by this and respond. Maybe you're the person that's going to write that check to buy 3 box trucks. You just want to buy 1, that's fine, but 3 is better than 1. Always 3 is better than 1. Father, Son, Holy Ghost, we declare it in Jesus' name. And email us, let us know. We'll help you do that. We'll help you get a tax deductible receipt and all those things. It'll be a blessing. So get out and do that. We'd love to hear from you. YouTube, we said Spotify, iTunes, also on our other platforms, and Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, Getter. You can let us know right now you want to do that when you hear this show and reach out to us. And again, tell everybody, be a partner or a sponsor on Patreon. Check out the Patreon app to find out more about that, how you can do that. Download that app, find us at On the Dock. And don't forget SLNT. Go check out their website. Put in OTD. It'll give you a better price, better shipping options, or go to slnt.com/discount/OTD and make sure you reclaim your right to privacy. We'll have a commercial on that right at the end so you can find out more about their products. Even as you're watching the commercial, we're going to eat. I think we're going to Waltz in Marion. It's going to be fantastic. We'll see you there at Waltz. Hopefully you'll come join us sometime. We got to get them to be a partner on the show. If you don't have a church home, go to Community Faith Church, COFTV.com. We'd love to have you if you're in the southern part of Illinois, or you can go check out High Point Ministries in Vienna. If you're in the Mount Vernon area, talk to them at the Subculture. They'll help get you pointed in the right direction to a church that fits your needs and your desires. We'd love to have you, but mostly get in church someplace, but get in a real church. Get in a church that's doing something for Jesus Christ and challenging you to get out there and be his hands and feet out there. We thank you for joining us. We've had an incredible crowd. Thank you, Donna, for sitting through a whole afternoon of programming and leading us over there. And we thank you for being a part of this double part episode. Remember, this is part 3 and 4, so you're not watching the same thing again. It's a double bonus episode. Thank you for joining us on the dock. I'm Pastor Troy for Mother Beth, who already left the studio. We'll see you soon, and check out this commercial from SNLT. We'll see you soon. Love you.
There are more than 8 billion phones in the world. A fact that threatens your privacy, security, and health. With Silent Pocket Faraday protection, you can regain control over your mobile devices. We get it. Privacy and security are inconvenient topics. And you may feel like you have nothing to hide, but the fact is that in the modern world, your laptop is never really off. Your phone emits a signal, even in airplane mode. And everything from your passport to your credit cards contains RFID, and all of it contains valuable private information that is easily exploited in the wrong hands. Silent Pocket offers a range of products you already use: wallets, bags, travel gear, laptop sleeves, key cases. But with the added protection of our patented Faraday technology, which turns your devices invisible and safe from the outside world. Many industries, from top business professionals to government officials, require the use of Faraday products for the day-to-day security of them and their staff. They understand that we are constantly at risk and take the necessary steps to prevent future attacks. We offer this elite technology to anyone that values their personal data, and we are proud to offer a premium range that fits seamlessly into your everyday life, providing security without looking like a tinfoil hat. As we learn to live with technology, Silent Pocket stands on the 3 pillars of privacy, security, and health. Our goal is to provide harmony with mobile technology without risking our most valuable information. We hope you'll trust us to help you do the same.